How do you guys see the Senate playing out?
Well, I see the map as we went into the year. When you look at things historically, the map definitely favored the Republicans with the seats that they had up, the incumbents they had in some tough seats. Light red states that have been moving to become more red, like Ohio and Iowa and Florida. I'm not ready to say that Florida is going to gel, but it definitely could, and with Alex Vindman running there for the Senate. But you look at the way the numbers are starting to shift in a place like Iowa and in Ohio, where the top of the ticket race with to replace Mike DeWine, where Vivek Ramaswamy has been coronated already, and public polls are out showing him behind the Dem nominee already and substantially. David Pepper, who's a longtime friend here on Lincoln Square, is on that ticket, and that something is happening, and it's beyond. Joe, you're right. It's beyond blue and blue wave. When the special elections in Florida last week that caught everybody's attention, the Mar-a-Lago seat, the Tampa seat in the Senate that flipped. It was Republicans, registered Republicans, who were choosing the Democratic candidate. And looking at the analysis that was done there, the voter registration of people who turned out in the Mar-a-Lago district, Republican registrants had a +10 turnout advantage on election day.
I looked at that. Wow.
9.8 is what I saw.
That's
9.8.
That's how you're getting this overperformance. Everything's like all these elections, all through last year, all the specials, we get this big overperformance by Democrats. Some of it was more Democrats' energy turning out, but a lot of it was independents and Republicans walking into the booth and polls got it wrong. Democrats were going to get more support, but which I think is part of what's going on here. It's like there's the reality is, I think the polls are getting. I mean, there's proof of it, right? Every one of these elections, she's going to win by 4 or 5. She wins by, Abigail.
Mickey Sherrill. Right?
Mickey Sherrill. There's a reason, right? So they're not catching what's going on. And look, I was out in Iowa. We talked about it. Was out there for 4 days talking to just about anybody, everybody.
Yeah.
That place is, I think it's going to be a real upset there, where we'll win the governor's seat for the first time in like forever. I think
some Vilsack.
We have two. Right, we have two incredible Senate candidates in a primary there. I want to make it clear, I love them both. They're both great candidates. They're going to have to fight it out, but I guarantee both of them.
When is the primary, Joe?
Gosh, I'm spacing on this right now.
I
want to say May, but I could be wrong. I don't want to head people off. What I want to say though is both of those, Josh Turek and Zach Walz, are both in dead heats with the Republican incumbent Senator Henson. And that is the one, I think, by the way, when we're talking about the Senate, and when you look at North Carolina with Cooper so far out ahead there.
Oh yeah.
You look at, Georgia, we all thought that was going to be like, knockdown, drag out. No one is even talking about it because of how strong we are. And so when you really look at where things, I think the seat that puts us over is going to be Iowa. And by the way, the most important thing in Iowa is Rob Sand. He's the auditor who's running for governor. And he's the only person who won statewide in 2018, was reelected in 2022. And then the Republican governor and the legislature, the first thing they did after he was reelected was strip the auditor's office of all power. So he couldn't go after corruption or anything. And there's something going on where he has struck a nerve. Iowa saw them do that there.
Yeah.
And it was Hell no. And
Well, you know,
I think he's going to help carry the like 3 House seats are going to flip in Iowa, not
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
And
And
I think
Alaska,
yeah.
there's a race brewing in Alaska of all
Yeah.
places. You know,
Yeah.
Mary Portola, you know, is running, the former Democratic member of Congress who served
And
a
is
couple
ahead
of terms
there
there.
too.
Yeah, and you know, with that's a very libertarian, don't tread on me kind of state,
Right.
and it's not a very MAGA Republican kind of profile in the
And
truest
you
sense.
got Maine. You got
Right,
Maine.
Maine. In Michigan, there's been the Republicans have an anointed candidate who lost by 18,000 votes to Alyssa Slotkin 2 years ago, running again. The Democrats have a very jump ball primary going on with 3 strong candidates, but I think any one of them is going to be in a position to just beat the living shit out of Mike Rogers. Just given the climate here and the quality of those candidates, that's the Republicans' really only hope, I think, in their mind, to take one away, and it's just not going to happen.
Well, and you still have Tallarico and Paxson.
Yeah,
Looks like
Texas,
you know. There's
right.
now look, that one's going to be tough. They're all going to be tough, but